give him that diddy bop. Like take that, take that, take that.
All right, we're going to take a look at Desmond's August 11th, 2014 athlete evaluation. Here you'll see him running full speed, followed by half speed, and then we'll be looking at 10% speed with running breakdown. He's made a lot of strides versus when he first came to our program, so I'm really proud of the changes that he's made, and all in all, it looks pretty good. And we're going to start with the upper body here. His arm placement is much better than it used to be. He's got his arms in the L shape like we like, driving them up to the eyes, relaxed hands, all that looks very good. Shoulders square. He has a habit of getting offline side to side with his head, and you'll notice how that line is splitting his right eye when it should split in between the two. And you'll kind of see that throughout where you kind of swing side to side. And it's not a huge adjustment, but when we're dealing with fractions of a second, these are things that we want to try to address. I look, I look, I look, I look, I look. Again at that placement that I was speaking of, and now it's catching the right side of the right eye, almost near his ear. And again, that's just kind of like crooked. We need to straighten him up on that and stop that swing from side to side. What that swing does is it wastes time, number one, but number two, it's swaying him over on his left side of his foot and swaying him over on his right side versus being more balanced and more centered. So we're gonna try to address that as well. Moving forward, we're going to push this forward a little bit more. Bad tendency of really 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 bad tendency of leaning super far over when he ran, even after the drive phase. And he still continues to do that, nowhere near as bad as it was. We've straightened him up some, but we got to get him, once he gets full speed and gets to stride now, to come up and stand up. When he leans over his knees, he pushes them down. If you see how low his knee drive is, we want that knee to be about 90 degrees, and you can see how low it is. It's not tremendously low, but it definitely needs to come up another 4 or 5 inches. So that's definitely one of the huge things we want to work on. He is striking on the balls of his feet correctly, so that's great. It looks like a nice straight line. All that looks good there. The main thing we want to work on is that knee drive. He's got nice long legs, and we want to have him use that stride to his advantage. And we're not going to be able to get him to do that unless he can pick those knees up a little bit more. And that just comes with power in the hips and the hip flexors, and we'll spot that now, and we'll continue to push forward on that as he works out with us in our athlete development program. His vertical is good. He jumped a 24 inch vertical here, and we had to do it a few times to get the accurate score here, but the standing broad jump and the vertical is a really big kind of a telltale sign of speed. So if we can get his standing broad jump up and his vertical up, then that's going to translate into faster time running, and we want to get him to where he's a really fast base runner. Here's a standing broad jump. Was really good as well. It was a 7'5" jump, so that was great. And looking at his lateral speed, he was able to complete 17 lateral reps of 5 yards. He opens his hips a little bit here and there, but all in all, good speed. And these are good baseline scores for us to watch as we go forward and do this again in 90 days so we can track progress. You'll notice here, push-ups, 25. One leg squats was only 10. He had problems with his balance and his leg strength. Plank time, minute 30. We definitely got to work on that core more, and that's going to help his batting as well. His speeds were okay, 1.8, 3.16, and then 40-yard was 5.20. We'd like to see that be in the 4s. And then again, the vertical was pretty good. So these are good scores to go off of. We're going to track this progress and help him get better.
That's all you got.